Welcome to Aloha Diz and the High Five Disney News Stories for Friday, March 7th, 2025.
Please be sure to subscribe to Aloha Diz on YouTube for all the latest Disney content.
Yep, we'll cover Disneyland's 70th anniversary celebration, set sail for adventure on the Disney Treasure cruise ship, see what's streaming on Disney Plus this March, and sip on some new Snow White-themed coffee from Joffrey's. Plus, we'll wrap up with a heartwarming look at Monorail Day at Walt Disney World.
Sounds like a jam-packed deep dive.
It definitely is. So let's kick things off with a huge milestone. Disneyland is turning 70. Can you believe it?
That's 7 decades of magic. It makes you wonder if Walt himself could have ever imagined the impact his park would have on the world.
Right, and they're celebrating in a big way with an anniversary bash that lasts over a year, from May 16th, 2025 through summer 2026.
Disney sure knows how to throw a party.
And speaking of parties, they're adding new touches to classic rides. Miguel and Dante from Coco are joining the It's a Small World crew, and Toy Story Midway Mania is getting some 70th anniversary nods.
It sounds like they're finding creative ways to weave the anniversary into existing attractions without completely overhauling them.
Exactly. Now get this, the Paint the Night Parade is coming back. And you know what that means?
Anna and Elsa are back on their frozen float.
You got it. That's a parade that always brings the wow factor.
Speaking of wow factor, I heard there's a brand new daytime cavalcade called the Celebrate Happy Cavalcade with Duffy and Friends.
Yep, that's right. Duffy's getting more and more popular, and this sounds like the perfect way to showcase those adorable characters.
It seems like Disney's really playing up the nostalgia factor for this anniversary.
Oh, absolutely. And they're bringing back the Wondrous Journeys, nighttime spectacular, too. Plus, over at Disney California Adventure Park, the Better Together, a Pixar Pals celebration parade is returning.
I'm sensing a theme here. Lots of familiar favorites for the 70th.
Totally. They're giving the people what they want, those classic experiences that make Disneyland so special. But it's not all about looking back. There's plenty of new excitement on the horizon, especially when it comes to the Disney Treasure cruise ship.
Ah, yes, the newest addition to the Disney Cruise Line fleet. I've been hearing a lot of buzz about this one.
For good reason. This ship is all about adventure, inspired by Walt Disney's love of exploration.
So what kind of adventures await guests on this treasure-filled voyage?
Well, even stepping into the Grand Hall is an adventure. It's inspired by Agrabah from Aladdin. Imagine that, strolling through a palace fit for a sultan.
That does sound pretty grand. But for those seeking a more structured adventure, there are 2 new Broadway-style shows on board, Beauty and the Beast and Disney Sees the Adventure.
And here's the really exciting part. They're debuting Disney, The Tale of Moana, the first ever stage adaptation of Moana.
Wow, a stage adaptation of Moana on a cruise ship. That's ambitious. I wonder how they'll bring the ocean to life on stage.
Right. I'm dying to see how they pull it off. And get this, even the Aquamouse is getting in on the action. With a new storyline called Curse of the Golden Egg, you get to join Mickey and Minnie on a treasure hunt through an ancient temple.
The Aquamouse seems to be getting more and more elaborate with each new ship. It's no longer just a simple water slide.
Definitely. And of course, there are tons of amazing kids clubs to keep the little ones entertained. We're talking Toy Story Splash Zone for the toddlers, Star Wars, Cargo Bay where kids can become creature handlers, imagine the possibilities, and Marvel Superhero Academy for training with the Avengers.
Don't forget about the Walt Disney Imagineering Lab. That's got to be a dream come true for any budding Imagineers out there.
Oh, absolutely. It sounds like they've really thought of everything to make this a cruise experience unlike any other.
Definitely. It sounds like the Disney Treasure offers something for everyone, from thrill seekers to those who prefer a more leisurely pace. Now, let's switch gears to what's coming to Disney Plus in March 2025.
Yes. Get ready for some serious binge watching, because March is packed with premieres.
Kicking things off with a bang, Daredevil. Born Again premieres on March 4th, followed by the highly anticipated Moana 2 on March 12th.
Moana 2 is going to be huge. Everyone loved the first one, and I'm sure the sequel will be just as magical. And we can't forget about the sports fans out there. The PGA Tour's The Players' Championship airs on ESPN on March 13th, and the new season of the NWSL kicks off on March 15th.
Plus, we've got Meet the Pickles, The Making of Win or Lose, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Road Trip, and new episodes of shows like Primo's, Win or Lose, and Star Wars, Young Jedi Adventures.
That's a lot of content. Are you even going to have time to sleep in March?
Sleep! Who needs sleep when there's so much Disney magic to experience? And we haven't even mentioned the new series and specials like David Blaine, Do Not Attempt, Deli Boys, Good American Family, and Mid-Century Modern. March is shaping up to be a busy month for Disney+.
It definitely is. And speaking of exciting things to look forward to, Let's talk about a delightful way to get your caffeine fix. Joffrey's Coffee is releasing a new Snow White brew.
Perfect timing, right? It's all tied in with the release of the new live-action Snow White film on March 21st.
Smart marketing move on their part. And it sounds delicious. If you're at Disney Springs, you can try the enchanting apple frozen lemonade at Joffrey's location through April 18th. But if you want to enjoy the magic at home, they've got the Disney Snow White Just One Bite Brew. It's a medium roast with sweet, spiced, crisp apple flavors.
Ooh, that does sound tempting. I wonder if they'll have a poisoned apple flavor.
Maybe not. But you can find the brew both at Disney Springs and online at joffreyafrywise.com.
So whether you're at the parks or at home, you can enjoy a cup of Snow White magic.
Exactly. And you know what else is magical? Monorail Day at Walt Disney World.
Wait, there's a whole day dedicated to monorails.
Yep. March 6th was Monorail Day. It's in honor of the Mark 6 monorail model used at Disney World.
Huh, I never knew that. You learn something new every day.
Right. And what better way to celebrate Monorail Day than by hearing some heartwarming stories about the amazing cast members who keep those monorails gliding along. We've got Bob Hand, a monorail central controller who's been with Disney for an incredible 47 years.
Wow, 47 years. That's longer than some people have been alive. He must have seen so much change over the years.
He has. And through it all, he's remained passionate about his job. He loves meeting new people and showing children how the monorail works.
It's amazing how some people find their calling and stick with it for their entire careers. There's something to be said for that kind of dedication.
Absolutely. And speaking of family traditions, there's Carlos Yepes, a monorail mechanic whose son also works on the monorail.
No way, that's too cute. Talk about keeping it in the family.
Right. Carlos's son, Andres, has been working on the monorail for 19 years now, inspired by his dad's passion for the job. I bet they have some great lunchtime conversations about monorail maintenance.
I can just imagine. Pass the wrench, son, and tell me about that tricky alignment issue you tackled today.
And it gets even better. Carlos's 9-year-old grandson also wants to work on the monorail someday. He even made himself a monorail shop hat to match his grandpa and dad.
Aw, that's adorable. It's heartwarming to see that love for Disney being passed down through generations.
It really is. These stories are such a wonderful reminder of the magic that Disney cast members bring to the parks every day. They truly keep the magic moving, whether it's on the monorail or behind the scenes.
I completely agree. They're the heart and soul of the Disney experience.
It's amazing how the monorail has become such an iconic symbol of Disney.
It's more than just a mode of transportation. It's part of the experience.
Exactly. You're at Disney when you hear that distinctive whooshing sound and see those sleek silver cars gliding by.
And it's fascinating how the technology has evolved over the years. The Mark 6 model they use at Disney World is a marvel of engineering.
Speaking of the Mark 6, did you know that March 6th was actually Monorail Day?
Really? I had no idea. Why March 6th?
It's in honor of the Mark 6 model. It's a fun way to celebrate this iconic piece of Disney history.
I love that. It's those little details that make Disney so special.
Absolutely. And speaking of special, we have to talk about the amazing cast members who keep those monorails running smoothly. We already mentioned Bob Hand, who's been a monorail central controller for an incredible 47 years.
Yeah, 47 years. That's dedication. What I find fascinating is that he still gets excited about showing people how the monorail works. You'd think after all these years it would be old hat for him.
Right. But he loves sharing his passion with guests, especially children. I bet he has some incredible stories from his time at Disney.
Oh, I'm sure he does. It makes you wonder how many smiles he's been responsible for over the years. Think about all the families he's helped transport to their magical destinations.
It's mind-boggling. And speaking of families, we have another heartwarming story. Carlos Yepes is a monorail mechanic who's been with Disney for 28 years. And guess what? His son also works on the monorail.
Wait, seriously? Like father, like son?
That's exactly. Carlos's son, Andres, has been working on the monorail for 19 years now, inspired by his dad's passion for the job. I bet they have some great lunchtime conversations about monorail maintenance.
I can just imagine. Pass the wrench, son, and tell me about that tricky alignment issue you tackled today.
And it gets even cuter. Carlos's 9-year-old grandson also wants to work on the monorail someday. He even made himself a monorail shop hat to match his grandpa and dad.
Ah, that's too precious. You can really tell how much Disney means to this family. It's become a part of their legacy.
It really has. And, it's not just about the monorail itself. It's about the people who make the magic happen. These cast members are the heart and soul of the Disney experience.
I couldn't agree more. Their passion and dedication shine through in everything they do, from operating the rides to greeting guests with a smile.
Speaking of things that bring a smile, let's shift gears to something that's sure to delight your taste buds. Joffrey's Coffee has released a new Snow White brew.
Ooh, a Snow White brew. Now that sounds interesting. Tell me more.
Well, it's all tied in with the release of the new live-action Snow White film on March 21st. They're really leaning into the theme with this one.
Smart move. It's a great way to generate buzz for the movie and give coffee lovers a unique experience.
Exactly. And if you're lucky enough to be at Disney Springs, you can even try the enchanting apple frozen lemonade at Joffrey's location through April 18th.
A frozen lemonade inspired by Snow White. That sounds refreshing and delicious, especially on a warm Florida day.
Right. But for those of us who aren't at Disney Springs, there's still a way to get our Snow White caffeine fix. They've also released the Disney Snow White Just One Bite Brew, which is available both at Disney Springs and online at joef2ylies.com.
So no matter where you are, you can sip on some Snow White magic. I wonder what kind of flavors they incorporated into the brew.
It's described as a medium roast with sweet, spiced, crisp apple flavors. It sounds like the perfect balance of comforting and invigorating.
It makes you wonder if they consulted with the evil queen on the recipe. Just kidding. But seriously, that sounds like a coffee I'd love to try.
Me too. It's amazing how Joffrey's always manages to create such unique and thematic coffee blends. They really know how to tap into the Disney magic.
They definitely do. It's those little touches that make the Disney experience so immersive. Whether it's a themed coffee, a meticulously designed queue, or a cast member going above and beyond, it all adds to the overall sense of wonder.
I couldn't have said it better myself. It's all about creating those unforgettable moments that stay with you long after you've left the parks, and that's what keeps people coming back to Disney time and time again.
It's the attention to detail, the commitment to storytelling, and the unwavering dedication of the cast members that make it such a special place.
Well said. And speaking of special places we've explored, Disneyland's 70th anniversary, sailed on the Disney Treasure, previewed the Disney Plus March lineup, and sipped on some Snow White-themed coffee. What a whirlwind tour of Disney news.
It's been a magical journey. We've covered a lot of ground today, from nostalgic celebrations to cutting-edge entertainment.
We certainly have. But before we wrap things up, I want to leave our listeners with a little something to ponder.
Ooh, I love a good thought-provoking question. Hit me with it.
We talked about all the amazing new entertainment coming to Disneyland for its 70th anniversary, from the return of beloved parades to a brand new nighttime spectacular.
Yeah, it's going to be an epic celebration of Disney history.
It makes you wonder, what classic Disney experiences would you bring back for an anniversary like this?
That's a great question. Personally, I'd love to see the return of the Main Street Electrical Parade. There's something so magical about those twinkling lights and that catchy tune.
Oh, I agree. The Electrical Parade is pure nostalgia. It always takes me back to my childhood.
Exactly. It's a timeless classic that would be perfect for the 70th anniversary. But I'm curious to hear what our listeners would choose. What Disney treasures would you dust off and bring back for a magical celebration?
Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your ideas. If you want more Disney content, please like, comment, and subscribe to Aloha Dis.
Mahalo for joining us.